Okay, so there's still a little bug with the Harrier. Make sure you remove Sukhoi 33. I don't like air-to-air refueling that way, buddy. Since they added the autopilot feature to that, I don't like it. So make sure you remove the vehicle chocks or the wheel chocks. Vehicle chocks? What are you talking about, Shifty? I don't know. Make sure you remove the chocks, though, before you start the engines. Ground crew. Wheel chocks. Remove. Do you prefer DMT or T-Pod, Harrier, Shifty? DMT. I hate the T-Pod on this thing. I have learnt it, but I just don't like it. It's a pylon used up. I know most people put it under the centre. I don't like it under the centre. Its visibility is poor. I like putting it on the wing, but it means you have to use weapon stores. Lose some stores. So I don't like putting the T-Pod on the centre. I don't like anything on the centre. So this is just personal preference. So I like putting it on 5 or 3 if I have to. It has better visibility, but you sacrifice weapons. So I use the DMT most of the time. Okay, Harrier startup, straightforward. Like I say, Shifty doesn't do anything by the book, but I've figured out a way to do it the way I like to do it, and everything still works. So yeah, it's not by the book by any means. However, here we go. Battery on, fuel switches on, main, norm, whatever they're called, norm I think. Light set to daytime operations, no lightings on, oxygen on, fuel cut off, deck switch set on, ejection seat armed, instrument panel lighting, console set, Bitching Betty volume set, flaps on, nose wheel steering on, engine start, close canopy.
Rearming complete.
Cancel Bitching Betty, cancel mirrors. Set nozzles so we don't start taxi. Waiting for 8.9 or 9.2, can't remember, 9.2, and move throttle into idle. Feed fuel into engine. Engine starting, set bingo fuel. Wait for engine RPM to settle down to idle. Like I said, this is just a Shifty way. It's not 100% by the book, but it works for me. Okay, now we've done that, we're going to turn on upfront controllers, radios, volumes, brightness, HUD, and RWR, countermeasures, don't need that, and I've already set this. Then we swing round here, I'm going to turn on FLIR, DMT, and spin this round to align and align it. Because I'm lazy, I turn it straight round to IFA, because I've already got it set. Cancel this. Set trim for +1. Set flaps, check flaps. Flaps are working, yeah, cool. Flaps cruise for taxi. Go to the map screen, clear the map screen. Go to stores page, check EW page. And we're good to go. Right, nozzle set for taxi, brakes, parking brake released. Nozzle set 10 degrees. Okay, nose wheel steering engage. And let's go. Frickin' Twitch still doesn't approve my emotes. 20 hours. Takes a few days, buddy. Sometimes. Have you got your affiliate yet? Obviously, your affiliate will need to be first, and then your emotes after that. Okay, let's set up some cameras. Nice bit of zoom. Okay, let's go. Said a couple of minutes. No, a couple of days, buddy. Sometimes it can take minutes. That's all done. Cool. Nice one. Like I said, you need to time your streams, buddy. I've told you. If you're going to stream in the afternoons, let me know. Okay, we're on the runway. I'm just going to let the speed build up. Disengage nose wheel steering. Setting flaps for takeoff. Accelerating. We're going to rotate the nozzles at 100 knots to 60 degrees. That should punch us into the air. Throttle set 99. Maintain speed, heading, and 100 knots nozzles. Gear. Nozzles coming back towards 0. Do it all really quick. Cancel noise. And that's a Harrier takeoff. Shifty style. Flap set. Auto. Flyby.
Pull up! Pull up!
I am pulling up. Thanks, buddy. Excited to pick up the Goose today. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, buddy. Whoa, Sex King. Joker, hello. That's a lot of fingers. Okay, let's stick it into air-to-ground mode. Stick the master arm on and spool the Mavericks, because they take 3 minutes. And we're going to head to the target area. Then I want to do some air-to-air refueling. That should take us up. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, Dave, buddy. I'm quite excited to see how you're getting on. I want to try the free one myself, but I want to see somebody else first to see whether it's worth it. So that's why I'm waiting for you to stream the free one, because I'm quite interested in it. Because I fly nearly every day anyway, you know, one trip. So if you're going to fly one day anyway, you might as well be doing something like that, a career mode, and you know, working towards a plane and saving up money. And I think it's pretty cool. Retrimming, just setting the trim so she flies straight and level. I'm going to engage the auto hold there, and we're off and running in the beautiful Harrier. And we have JDAMs, Mavericks, no T-pod, guns and sidewinders for self-defense. Looking beautiful. Yeah, I'm excited, buddy. I'm really enjoying, you know, having a purpose to Microsoft Flight Sim. I mean, I can sit and just fly, but it's nice to have a purpose. What's the Goose? The Goose is an amphibious aircraft that lands in water, obviously. It's pretty cool, Andy. It's a cool, interesting little aircraft that you can fly in Microsoft Flight Sim. It's a mod, but it's a pretty good one. Two of the guys that I watch stream fly it, you see. Seems pretty good. Yeah, roger that, Crewmax, roger that. Okay, so we've got 2 Mavericks and 2 JDAMs, no T-pod. This is the way I like to fly the Harrier. And you can swap the sidewinders for sidearms if you've got no air threat. But I'm not sure. So I'll put the sidewinders on. I can't remember where my tanker is. We'll find a tanker. If we have a look at the map, we're heading down. That's the wrong tanker. We're heading this way. We should be able to use this guy. Yeah, we should refuel from this guy. So we'll head down here. We'll engage some targets down here. And we'll do some air-to-air refueling. Grumman Goose G21 Alpha. There you go. Yeah, Crewbrax, I was watching that video you linked with the Tu-134. That's actually been developed by some Russian guys, isn't it? That looks really interesting. Now that is a 2-engine, you know, passenger aircraft I would be interested in. So yeah, thanks very much for that one. I do like the Harrier paint job, but yeah, Andy Halo, me too. Me too. I love Pinky. You gotta love the pink Harrier. Absolutely beautiful. I know the round doors are a little big, but it suits overall. It suits overall. Looks nice. I've got one for the 16 in the same pattern, but the sand colour is just very slightly different. This one I think looks a little more authentic. It's not pink, it's salmon. It's Pinky. It's known as Pinky in the RAF. When you see an aircraft like this, we call it Pinky. I still remember seeing the TriStars in the pink camouflage. Salmon, sorry. Is it ZD 949 and 948, 949? If I'm remembering rightly. It's a long time ago. The K1s, TriStar K1s. They were dressed in pink. Yeah, roger that, crew Brax. I'll wait. I can't wait. She's looking very good, isn't it? Full fidelity cockpit as well, Russian style, and you just got to love the Russian style cockpit. So yeah, I'm that's probably one I will buy. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you stream it, and then I'll make a decision from that. I'm sure Andy will tell me if I'm right or wrong. Was it ZD 949, 948? I can't remember the K1 numbers. I can't remember. It was the TriStar K1. They were dressed in, I think they were dressed in pink. 1993, 91, 92, 93, that sort of time period. Down in the nose, that's just sick, yes. Yeah, that looked really cool. Looked really cool. Okay, I think the Mavericks are ready. They are. So let's just select the JDAMs. Make sure there's no nothing to set with those. Okay, we've got Mavericks. So we've got two Mavericks on this aircraft. Now we have no way of targeting them because we don't have the T-pod. So the Mavericks, I don't know what to say. Okay, hello. The Mavericks have their own seeker head. So if you want to use the Maverick with the Maverick seeker head, all we do is uncage with the Maverick selected. We now have the Maverick seeker head. However, we are currently in INS mode, so we need to press sensor select forward, and now we are in infrared Maverick mode. We can zoom this in by using the FOV button here, or using the one that I've set up. So we can zoom it in and out, and you can slew it around using the TDC slew keys. Just say hi. Hello! Good to see you, Chas. Dzień dobry. Guten Tag, guten Morgen. Wie geht's? Buongiorno. Comment allez-vous? Ohayou gozaimasu. I think that covers them all. Привет, comrade. You are nice. You're welcome. I'm going to go to Honeywell. Oh, okay. Right, so the first one we're going to fire is using the Maverick seeker head. So we're going to zoom this in, point the velocity vector towards the target, and then use the TDC slew keys to find and locate our target. Our target is down there in the desert. So autopilot off, turn towards target area, point nose towards ground, find targets using the Maverick seeker head. Salute. Hello. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining me. I've been streaming for a long time, 4 years now. I think we've just passed 2,300 hours of streaming. I stream mostly DCS. I do occasionally stream something else. Right. But I do have all the modules, and I've been streaming DCS for a long time. Right, where am I looking? I'm looking. Yep, that's the correct place there. Okay, point this down towards the ground. I don't see anything. Slew it around. Okay. There's the road. Follow the road. Wow. Resetting. Is that the target there? Ah, there's a target. Okay, slew down. Maverick over target. Release. And it should lock onto something. Voila. Break off. Maverick away. Hopefully it's not going for the telegraph pole. Woohoo! Maverick hit. Okay, so that's one method, using the Maverick seeker head to find a target. Easy peasy. Right, second method, if you don't have a T-pod. Select TDC, not TDC, sensor select aft once will bring you the LST screen, which is the laser spot track, I think. And press sensor select aft again, and you'll have your TV or DMT screen. This, again, is currently looking at the velocity vector. We need to point this towards the ground, and slew it around, find the target on this screen this time, and then when we uncage the Maverick, it will automatically be looking at the target selected in this screen. The difference between this is the DMT has a slightly better camera for finding targets than the Maverick Seeker head itself. Hello, back from the meeting. Hello, welcome back. Right, so again, we're going to engage another target, this time using the DMT to find the target. So we're going to swing our nose round, point at the target area, slew the DMT around to find the target, to demonstrate what I'm talking about. Okay. Somewhere over there. Whereabouts over here? I don't see you. Okay, unslewing. I can't see it. It's in the middle of the desert somewhere. It's very hard to spot. Ah, there they are. Okay, slew the box onto target. So there's the targets there. Put the box over the target you want to hit. That one. And then we can break away. It will remember where it is. So we can break away and then come in for a Maverick shot. So I'm going to extend to 8 miles. I played DCS for the first time yesterday, but I have no joystick or joypad, only the keyboard and mouse. I ended up as a wreck on the ground. Yeah, it's very difficult to fly with mouse and keyboard. You can do it. However, I would recommend either you know, a controller of some type, i.e. an Xbox controller, or some sort of cheap joystick if that is an option. But if money's no problem, get yourself a nice hotel setup and you'll really enjoy it. But you will need a flight stick and some sort of head tracking to enjoy the most out of DCS, I think. VR is also a very good option, but expensive. But to get the most out of DCS, some sort of joystick. You don't need rudder pedals, but yeah, does it. Twist joystick. Next option, joystick with rudder pedals, some sort of head tracking. But yeah, you can play with mouse and keyboard, but it is difficult, buddy. Right, so this should automatically be looking at the target when we get round. And as you can see, it hasn't remembered where we were looking. It lost track by the looks of it, so we just need to reacquire. Interesting. So we put this camera on the target we'd like to hit. We then uncage the Maverick Seeker head. Sensor select forward, zoom it in, and then we press TDC down action to lock on. And that's how you do it that way. And it should kill the AAA truck down there. That was an ammo truck, not the AAA truck. Shifty, you're blind as a bat. Yes, I am. Right, okay, so the camera's still looking in relatively the same area. So now we're going to hit attack with JDAMs. Okay, so what we need to set up with JDAMs is you need to go to the EHSD page. Make sure we press designate. And then we go back to our weapons page. No, not the bit test, the weapons page, you dumbass. Select the JDAMs, select fuse, and leave it in auto mode. Okay. Now we use the DMT to designate targets for JDAMs. Again, the DMT is not as good as having a T-Pod. T-Pod has way better visibility, way better search capability, and much clearer picture, much more zoom. The thing we're using with the DMT and the Seeker head on the Mavericks is you need to know roughly where the targets are. It's quite hard to find targets, whereas the... Okay. Resetting this. You do need to be able to find the targets. Okay, find the target. There's the targets. Let's hit that vehicle there. Okay, and then we press waypoint increment button for a second and release. Weapons good to go. 3, 2, 1. Press and hold. Weapon away. Break off. Can we see the weapon? There goes the weapon. Retrim the aircraft. And we're going to fly away this way. Undesignate. There goes our bomb. I'm new to DCS, so I'm confused. Yeah, it is confusing, buddy. The best thing to do is go onto YouTube and search recommended hardware and joysticks for DCS. Just do that. Use YouTube to recommend stuff, and then have a good old review. Bam. Target down. Easy. Rinse and repeat until you've dropped all your bombs. Okay? So that's Mavericks and JDAMs using DMT. Just going to extend, keep an eye on it. So I've just made a mental note of this big bend. Target is here, sort of next to that peak there. So when I go like this, I know exactly where the target is again. Hi confused. .com. Sergey would be impressed. Okay, swinging round. I'm going to drop one more, and then I'll jettison the rest, and we'll go air to air refuel. And now we'll keep them. We'll refuel with the bombs on. Hello, somebody answer the phone. Okay, acquire target with DMT. You've got a circle down there because it's designated waypoint. Find another target. That will do. That one there. Put the square on him. Pull up. Press the waypoint increment button for at least a second. And release. Weapon away. 3, 2, 1. Now. Weapon released. There she goes. Woo! Undesignate. Okay. Retrim aircraft. Auto hold on. There goes another bomb. Oh, this one's coming in hot. This one's gonna have to do a U-turn. Make a U-turn. Shifty, you made a note of that big bend, did you? Yes, I did. Big bend. Do you not see the big bend? Boom! Close enough. Close enough. Target down. There you go. Right, so I want to do some air-to-air refueling. What I'm going to do is undesignate the weapon system, select nav mode, and turn this back to something more sensible. Okay, right. We have a tanker out here. Let's confirm which tanker it is. It was two of them. We have Arco 257, and we have Texaco. What's the difference? Ah, it's a KC-135. Okay, so it's going to be Texaco 255. So we need to tune into 255 on COM 1. 255, is there a preset? Yep, there. Okay, cool. Do we have a TACAN for him? Let's have a quick look. Briefing. Texaco 255, TACAN 55. Okay, so press TACAN, enter 55, turn it on, bring up the whatever this screen's called, selecting TACAN, and put it onto AA. Okay, TACAN is showing us there, bearing 022 for 4 miles, so she's very close, so we can turn towards it. Okay, I don't know what the altitude is, but she's directly ahead of me. There she is. But if you couldn't see the tanker, for some reason, if it was cloudy and we weren't this close, what you do to get the altitude and speed is you select the correct radio channel that you've tuned in, so radio 1, and talk to the tanker, and it will give you a altitude and speed. So, 10,000 feet, 270 knots. And we follow the TACAN to find it. But we have visual, no problem. So we're going to close up with the tanker, do some air-to-air refueling. Okay, what are we on? 3 hours 20, coming up for 12 o'clock. Perfect. I've got a bit of a headache, you see. I've got a bit of a headache, so I'm not going to run too long today. I'll go get a fresh cup of coffee, stretch my legs. I cooked lovely fish mash and peas yesterday. It was absolutely beautiful. Nice buttery mash. Right, slowing down. So the tanker's doing 270. I'm doing 400. Guess what? We need to slow down in a hurry. Extending refueling probe. Meow. Gash likes to do the sounds. Air brake out. We're still coming in hot. We're still very hot. I might have to. I'm considering doing a barrel roll to burn off some more speed. We're okay. Okay, air brake in. Throttle back on. We're settled. This is a good place to wait while somebody else is refueling, but there's nobody in queue, so I'm going to jump in. So I'm going to slide in behind the basket. It's always the left wing, unless there's somebody on the left wing, then it'll be the right wing. But if you want to practice on the right wing, what you need to do is put an AI F-14 or something that tanks really long with low fuel behind the tanker. Get the F-14 to tank first, and you can practice on the other wing. Right, now we're set about, what, 200-300 feet behind the basket, just below the aircraft. We tell him, ready pre-contact.
Ready pre-contact. Clear contact.
If it doesn't say clear contact, move a little closer, try again. But, air-to-air refueling. I'm not going to go talk through the exact things. We're just going to plug that into there. However you get that done, I'll leave it up to you. There are different ways to do it. Let's see how we go. I haven't practiced this in ages, so... let's see how we go. Make sure the aircraft is trimmed as neutral as possible. Simple as. Too fast.
Break away, break away, break away.
I don't know how you do that, Gash, from there when it's in a turn. I don't know how you fly it with just like looking there. I like to have some forward view with the Harrier as I'm coming forwards.
Break away, break away, break away. Contact.
There we go.
You're taking fuel.
No, I did it the Gash way there. I didn't look forwards, I just looked at the basket. You can do it, it is very difficult. That's not the easy way to do it. I would not recommend learning that way. Okay, I'm gonna unplug. So that's the way Gash is talking about. With experience, you can do that. What I recommend, however, is if you use reference points. So I'll talk through the reference point method. So what we've got to help us, okay. I'm going to pause. What we've got to help us, you can do it by just looking at the basket and flying and adjusting your aircraft by staring at the basket and flying it in. This is not easy when you can't see the horizon line very well and you can't see your the aircraft you're tanking off, because he may be moving slightly and you don't see it if you're looking here. But you can do it that way. However, what we're going to... the stream is lagging. That must be your end, buddy. I've got nothing here. I've got 70 frames and everything seems fine. That must be your end. Okay. It's good. Yeah, I thought so. It must be your end, buddy. So what we have in the Harrier is a couple of reference points. Reference point 1, top of the HUD, there's an arrow. At the back of the tanker, there is a refueling pod and an engine. And midway through the refueling pod and engine is a point where you put this. You put this arrow on the midway point between this engine and this pod here. Okay, and we also have the mirror, top of the corner mirror here is another reference point, which is coincidentally the right height for the basket to hit this. If the basket passes the canopy frame at this point here, i.e. top of the left mirror, it will hit the refueling probe as long as you're not too close or too far. So what you do is you put this arrow on the wing, just below the wing here, and you put the basket here as you approach, and it will plug into there. So you can keep looking forwards, you don't have to watch the basket, okay? So that's the reference point method I'm talking about. We're going to do that. So we put the arrow on the HUD midway between the engine and the refueling pod itself, just where the propeller edge is, and you put the basket so that it flies past the canopy just above the mirror. Learn to do it this way first, you'll probably find it easier. That way you don't need to look over there. So all we do is we put the arrow halfway between, fly straight forwards, and make sure the basket passes the mirror.
Break away, break away, break away.
Just like that.
Contact.
Just above the mirror. So that's how you do that. You don't need to look at the basket, as long as you hold it in roughly the right place. Okay, dropping it back. Like I say, there's two methods. Method 1, reference points. Method 2, skill. Gash has a lot of skill in the Harrier. Watch him refueling it. He does it way better than me by the flying to the basket method. So we put the arrow in the middle. Oh, tanker's straightening. Put the arrow to the middle. Put the basket at the right altitude there, and then you fly forwards.
Break away, break away, break away. Contact.
That was using the reference method. Just putting the arrow in the middle and flying forwards. It works both ways, and it's up to you how you want to learn. You and Maverick make it look easy, yeah. It's not easy. It takes a lot of practice, buddy. It takes a lot of practice, a lot of skill. It's not easy.
Pull up, pull up.
Dude! What have I missed? I missed some stuff here. Monk gave out a community sub. Thank you very much for the gifted sub. Who got the sub? Congratulations. Who got the sub? Who got it? Who got it? Who got it? Oh, Kabaz got it.
Missile.
Dude, thank you very much. Thanks for the follows as well. Right, so one thing I can pass on to you guys who are struggling to air-to-air refuel. Okay, if you are we're full. If you're struggling to air-to-air refuel with the Harrier or any aircraft, okay, what you need to do is learn to fly in formation first. Right? A lot of people struggle with formation flying. You're never going to be able to tank successfully if you can't sit and stay in one position with an aircraft, moving aircraft. So, what I recommend to do is find your favorite side. Doesn't matter which one it is when you're practicing this. My favorite side is having the target at my left corner here. So I like to practice. I do practice occasionally on the right side, but I like to practice flying formation with the aircraft I'm following on my left. So what you want to do is, if you can't tank, don't worry about it. Don't try tanking. Try formation flying for an hour or so. So find yourself a tanker. Get yourself onto his right or left wingtip, whichever you're the most comfortable with.
Missile.
Dude, what? Kabaz gifted a sub to... I can't pronounce that. Renth 2000. Raphael 2000, I think it is. Thank you very much for the gifted sub. Thanks for the support, guys. You guys are far too good to me. Congratulations, Raphael. You got a gifted sub. Thank you. Okay, so, like I say, learn to formation fly. The key to formation flying is having the aircraft trimmed out and being nice and steady with the controls. Dude, thanks for the follow. So, find the side you're most comfortable with. Put the wingtip in one spot and the canopy frame and hold it there. If you can't hold it there for too long, don't worry about it. Just keep practicing. So I'm just holding the wingtip in the one spot in the canopy frame and then flying and holding it there. Learn to do this first before you tank if you struggle tanking. And then what you do is you just change the position a little bit. So what I'm going to do is going to move forward, put him at my 3 o'clock place. Sorry, my 9 o'clock. I'm going to be on his 3 o'clock, and you hold there. And then you move to a different place and hold there. And once you can do this, once you can sit and maneuver yourself around the aircraft and hold... Whoa, too close. That was close. Once you can sit and fly formation with him while you're doing this, you'll have no problems tanking. Learn to do this first, then move on to tanking. Learn to sit, be comfortable with an aircraft in close proximity and being able to move positions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop under him. We're going to move to the other side. Once you can do this, you'll find air-to-air refueling really easy. So learn to formation fly first. So now we're going to put the left wingtip on the canopy frame and move forward. And hold here. Whoa, steady boy. Steady, steady, steady. And move forward. Make it a bit more difficult. The 3 and 9 o'clock positions are much harder. Too close. What a wake... I have wake turbulence on, buddy. Wake turbulence is not a thing if you're flying in the correct position. Wake turbulence only affects you if you are flying direct behind and at the same altitude as the wing. Air-to-air refueling, you should be below the wing. So if we fly directly behind the aircraft at the same altitude as the wing, you'll notice, watch my the velocity vector, it will start bouncing all over the place when we hit the wake turbulence. There's the wake turbulence there, look. We're now in his wake turbulence. It's not too bad, so long as you're not flying here. If you fly down here, it's easy, because you're not in the wake turbulence. But I have wake turbulence on all the time. So once I pull up into the wing area behind the engines, this is where we'll hit the wake turbulence here. There we're at. That's the wake turbulence now. That's wake turbulence. That's wake turbulence. It's pushing me everywhere. I can feel it. It's not too bad. But it does make it difficult. So don't fly in the wake turbulence. Just drop slightly lower and there's no wake turbulence here at all. None. None here. Or if we cross behind the tanker here, there's no wake turbulence here. No wake turbulence at all. Smooth as butter. So as long as you're flying in the correct position, you won't hit the wake turbulence. Now there is one exception. If you're tanking off the KC-135 MPRS and you're in the F-14, your wing may occasionally touch the wake turbulence zone, even though you're in the correct position. But there's nothing you can do about that. The F-14's got a big wing, and the pod and drogue is just about off the wake turbulence area, and the F-14 wing will catch it occasionally. Yeah, roger that, Master Pox. I've done it before. Me and Gash have flown, and I've flown it with a few people before. We've done that sort of stuff, and it's great fun. But you need to be able to sit comfortably around this tanker and move around like I'm doing here. You can see I'm perfectly comfortable and able to just reposition at will, and the tanker's, you know, no problem. So, like I say, if you want to learn to air-to-air refuel and be good at it, learn to be able to fly like this. So you can just sit in him. As soon as you put the basket in front of you, it does get a little bit more pressure and a bit more difficult, but you need to be comfortable with flying steady, close formation before you even attempt air-to-air refueling, to be honest. Let's have some fun.
Pull up, pull up.
Negative. I don't want to pull up right now because I'm going to go right underneath his wing by the basket. By the pod. See if we can read the writing. Note. It says note, and I can't read the rest. My eyesight's not that good. Move closer, Shifty. I don't want to move too close because in case the tanker just suddenly moves. Right-hand door panel cannot be removed without removing left-hand panel. There you go. You need to be comfortable doing this. Simple as. You need to be comfortable in your environment to be able to air-to-air refuel, I feel. You can do it, but I recommend getting better at the formation flying side of it, and life will be easy. But anyway, we're going to take this back to we'll go back to a ship, and then we'll call it a day. But nice to see so many of you. What have we done today? We've played War Thunder for a couple of hours, played DCS for a little while, and we've flown FA-18, done some CCIP stuff, messed about with the FARP. Then we flew some MI-8, had some fun with MI-8, and then done a little bit of tutorial style stuff with the Harrier. Right, we're going to head back to the ship. Let me get a bearing to the ship. Where are we? We are there. The ship is, holy shit, a long way away. Oh, damn. Never mind. We'll fly a long way. Thanks, honey. I can't fly over that island. Okay, we'll head. That's probably as close as I can get. 243. 243 to start. Yeah, roger that, Crew Rex. That'd be a lot of fun. Be a lot of fun. I love joining people on the streams like Cutlass and Krubrax and Mr. Stone and Gash, and then flying close formation with other players. Now that's a lot of fun. I love doing that. I was doing it with Cutlass the other day. He was flying an A-10. I was in a MiG-19. Oh, that's so much fun to fly in close formation with another player flying a different aircraft style type. So much fun. I did it with Krubrax. He was in a Jeff, and was I in a Jeff? I can't remember. Or was I in a different one? So much. Oh yeah, we're both in Jeffs, and you lost your canopy, didn't you? Was it you lost the canopy? It was a lot of fun. Right, we'll go full speed. We've got plenty of fuel. Let's go. I'll jettison everything so we can go a bit quicker. Combat. Jettison. That's dropped all the bombs off. We still have the air-to-air and the gun. We'll go maximum speed. The Harrier is actually quite quick. She's not Mach 1, well, she is Mach 1 capable in a dive, but yeah, she can cruise at around about 0.9, 0.92. No problem. If you've got the fuel. We've got plenty of fuel, we just filled up. That island there's got SAMs on, I need to stay away. I've got no stores that I can deal SAMs with. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed a little bit of Harrier air-to-air refueling. I love air-to-air refueling. It's one of my favourite things to do in DCS. I've always said all along, I can just sit and fly this like a flight sim. I don't need the weapon systems. The weapon systems are a bonus, but I love just flying these aircraft. Somebody asked me yesterday on my stream, why do we need this style of aircraft in Microsoft Flight Sim? Because it's much more fun to cruise at low level at 500 knots in a fighter aircraft in Microsoft Flight Sim than it is to do it in a Cessna 172 at 180 knots or 150 knots, you know. I'd love to fly the Harrier in the missile launch. I'd love to fly the Harrier in Microsoft Flight Sim with this flight model and this cockpit. The problem with Microsoft Flight Simulator Harriers is they're shit. Their flight model shit. Their cockpits are not as nice as the DCS ones. 2 missiles inbound. Just trying to notch. I notched it. I just dropped the air brake. And we notched the missile with the air brake out. And it's reacquired. And we lost it again. I put the air brake out and we lost it both times. It reacquired when I put the air brake back in. That was interesting. I need practice air-to-air, roger that. Good to see you, buddy. Thanks for the raid earlier. Isn't that what all the speed freaks say? I love the feeling of the wind in their hair, yeah. Okay, we're safe. Going back. So all I did there was slow down, drop the air brake, dropped a few chaff, and we notched the missile. It's kind of interesting. Climbing back up. We're heading back to the carrier. We'll do a carrier landing. I'll demonstrate 2 carrier landings with the Harrier. Obviously, the normal come alongside and hover is the preferred method. However, if some people struggle with hovering, you can do a sort of slow 80 knot approach with 70 degrees nozzles, and it's kind of nice, which we'll demonstrate.
Pull up, pull up.
There is a set to default button. Okay, my settings are messed up. I can't even set them back to correct. Oh. Hey, are you practicing carrier landings? No, I'm not practicing. I'm going to go through 2. I don't need to practice. Well, we'll see. We've just done air refueling. We did some Mavericks. We did JDAMs, and we did some air refueling tutorial style walkthrough, talkthrough with the Harrier today. But we're going to take it back to the ship and do two different landings just to show you, because some people struggle with hovering the Harrier. So we're going to take it to the Terror, which is here. I'll get a better bearing now. Okay, that will do. 268. Okay, turning 268. Would you recommend a HOTAS Warthog for someone who's just started? Yes. It's very good. I've never had anything else. I had a cheap joystick for about 20 years, and then 3 years ago, when just after I started in DCS, started streaming DCS, my missus bought me the Thrustmaster Warthog HOTAS system for my birthday, and trust me, it's such a jump. It is such a jump from the cheap joystick I used to play with. And then I also got Track IR. Now, in fact, the missus bought me Track IR. The missus and the stream community bought the Thrustmaster Warthog. I remember you guys did a donation. Loads of people donated, and the missus filled in the difference and bought me Thrustmaster Warthog. Yeah, I remember that. Why is the auto not on? On. Okay, it should be on. Yes, it is. Top Bird getting the Prezi like that. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, she's fantastic to me. She bought the Track IR for my birthday. And I'd never played with head tracking. I'd never had head tracking before. And it's such a change. The biggest Eagle, the biggest thing about getting the Thrustmaster Warthog HOTAS system was actually learning to use my feet to do the rudder, because I'd had 20 years of having a twisty stick, a twist grip stick, and it took me a long time to get used to using my feet to do the rudders. It really did. I love that view of the Harrier there. Oh, looks so good. We're RTB back to the ship. We're going to go through 2 landings. We're going to go through the slow 70 degrees nozzle rolling landing, which actually is a little bit more difficult than I thought, but a lot of people struggle with hovering, and they may prefer to do the 70 degree slow approach landing.
Pull up.
So we're going to go through that, and then we'll do the normal hover landing. I do not recommend practicing air-to-air refueling on a multiplayer server, because you get lag spikes. Yes, you would need rudder pedals if you swapped over to a HOTAS Warthog, yes. Or you use the keyboard to do your rudder. Wouldn't recommend that, but you can. You can also set up one of the hat switches to do the rudder. I wouldn't recommend it, but you could. But yeah, don't practice air-to-air refueling on multiplayer servers if you're learning, because you get lag spikes, other players get in your way, and there's too many variables that can cause you to have issues and make it frustrating. Practice offline, and then go to multiplayer servers with your friends to hone your skills. But I'd recommend learning offline. Right, we're on our way back to the ship. Not very far. Nearly there. Not far to go. Okay, 25 miles. Right, we're going to come in for a... just disabling the autos. We're going to come in for a... I'll finish my sentence in a minute. Just dumping some fuel. We're going to come in for a 70 degrees slow approach. So the nozzles are set to 70 degrees. And all you do is you fly it down using the engine power to control the vertical speed. Keep the nose level. It should be about 70 to 80 knots depending on your fuel load. And you can make a nice approach doing this. And I recommend learning this if you can't hover. If you can hover, come in for the normal pull up alongside the carrier landing. Shifty, do you stream with a tactical editor? No. Just a lot of things to practice a point. Yes, yes. No, I don't have what the hell is that? It's a tanker. I don't have, what's it called? TACView running. TACView's mostly useful for PvP stuff. It's not really helpful for PvE, I don't think. Although if you want to review what shot you down or you know stuff, I suppose it could help. Okay, there's our ship there. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to set up for 70 degrees nozzles. So this is the nozzle indicator here. So I'm going to put the flaps to full. Put the nozzles to 70 degrees. Which we can see if we're in the VSTOL mode. They're set at 68 at the moment. Now they're set to 70. And we're going to fly the aircraft at 70 degrees nozzles. Ahoy, Curtis! Me hearties! How's it going, buddy? Make sure you trim the aircraft out. I'm going to drop the gear. So we're flying, gear down, flaps down, 70 degrees nozzles, all the way to the carrier. For those people who want to practice a different type of carrier landing with a Harrier, because you can't hover. If you can hover, don't do this. Although it's fun to try. Make sure we trim out, and we should be set round about 80 knots, flying straight and level. I'm just trimming. Keep the nose. I'm going to pause. So what I'm looking at here, ignore the speed, ignore everything. I'm looking at this here, the witch's hat. Keep the witch's hat at 2.5 degrees, i.e. halfway between the 0 line, horizon line, and the -5 ladder line. Keep the witch's hat at about 2.5 degrees, and then this one here, the uppy downy thing I call it, okay? The uppy downy. Blaming you and Crewback. It's not our fault, buddy. You're a big man, you can say no. The uppy downy thing tells us whether we're going up or down. So if this is below the horizon line, we're actually losing altitude. If this is above the horizon line, we're gaining altitude, even though the nose is pointed down at 2.5 degrees. The reason the nose is pointed down on the Harrier is because when we're at 2.5 degrees, the wheels are all level, so we land with all the wheels at the same time. If you fly with the witch's hat on the 0 line, you actually touch down with the nose wheel first, and we don't want this. We want to land with all the wheels at the same time. This is why we put the witch's hat at -2.5 degrees. I do. I don't care what the book says. The book's wrong. I don't care what other people do. They're wrong. I do it my way. Okay, witch's hat, 2.5 degrees, uppy downy line to watch what's going on. That's what I'm looking at. I don't care about the speed. Unless, of course, we're running out of engine power because we're too heavy. So I've trimmed so I can let go of the stick and the Harrier will fly straight and level. Okay? So make sure you trim, you lazy buggers. Trim, trim, trim. There's a switch on here which does the trim. Well, on mine there is. Trim, trim, trim. As Maverick says, trim is life. Now the aircraft will quite happily fly at 85 knots with this current loadout and fuel state. Just happily fly along. And all we do is we fly along till we intercept the carrier at 80 knots. Stamp on the brakes and we stop. So if I want to go down, I pull the power out, keep the nose in the same place, and we lose altitude. We're currently losing altitude, if I pause, at 100 feet per minute. So you can control your rate of descent with the power. The uppy-downy switch will go up and down depending on how much power we got. Nothing to do where the nose points. Harrier is different. Flies like a helicopter. Okay, if I want to go up, I just push a little bit more power in. We will gain a little bit of speed, but now we're going up at 200 feet per minute. The nose will rise as well. We need to counteract that. Okay, power out, power in, power out, and we just control our rate of descent and approach with the engine, not with the nose. So like you use your collective on a helicopter. You keep the nose in one place and you drop the collective and you come down in a nice gentle hover. Same with the Harrier. If you want to come down nice and gentle, use the engine power, not the nose. Haven't got enough fuel to get there because we're coming in so slow. We're flying at 80 knots. We're probably 10 miles out still. And as you can see, the Harrier is quite comfortable flying at 70 degrees nozzles, gear down, flaps down, everything. Quite comfortable. We're not using any water because we're nice and light. And all we do is we fly this down onto the deck. Voila. Like I say, this is only for people who struggle to hoverland. Just to give you, would the Thrustmaster T flight rudder pedals be okay to get? I have no experience with those. I've heard they're a little bit narrow, but I've got no experience with the Thrustmaster ones. But I've heard they're very narrow. Wouldn't recommend them. I've got the CH ones, and they're a little bit wider. Again, then they're not the best quality rudder pedals, but they do the job. Okay, so there's our carrier. We're getting closer. I'm going to drop altitude, so I just pulled the power out. Now we're dropping. Just need to lift the nose a little. We're dropping at 400 feet per minute. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend the Thrustmaster ones. The CH ones are a little bit more expensive, but they're a little bit wider, but they're still plastic. There are some very nice ones out there. I'm looking at a set of crosswinds. I may get them. I don't know. I haven't decided yet because these still do the job fine. I can fly the helicopters with these fine, but I am thinking about upgrading my rudder pedals to the crosswinds. Okay, looking good. Fuel is okay. Yeah, we set up very early just to demonstrate. MFG ones, yeah. Yeah. They do look nice. They're expensive, but you get what you pay for, I find, in flight sim stuff. You get what you pay for. The good stuff costs money. Yeah. Like I say, if money is an object, if money is an issue, then obviously you get what you can afford. Yes, they work. They are a little bit narrow. They are a little bit plasticky and flimsy. I fly with in my socks because these are plasticky. I don't want to press too hard. So, I mean, I've been using them for 2 years now, 3 years now, and you know, as long as you treat your equipment right, you won't have any issues. So they are fragile, not the best quality, but if you look after them, they'll do the job. Okay, there's my carrier. I'm going to come in. So again, we control the descent rate with the engine power. Now 80 knots is going to feel really fast when we get close, but it's not too bad. Stamp on the brakes, you'll stop. It's not too bad. The carrier's moving, there's a slight headwind. So with a 10 knot carrier and a 10 knot headwind, we're touching down at about 60 knots, which is nothing. Okay, I need to drop down more. So I've just dropped the FPM to 1000. Be careful when you do this, because when you put the power back in, what happens is she gets a little bit squirrely and wants to turn left and right a little. So you just have to watch that. Okay, like I said, this is the 80 knot, 70 degree nozzles approach and landing. There is a big yellow line down the back, down the ship. Aim for that yellow line, you'll be fine. And like I say, if you are not comfortable, you know, you feel like your approach is a complete mess, just put the power in and you'll climb back up. Because we've got some forward speed, she'll just climb back up if you push the engine power up. We'll just climb. It's a very slight crosswind. You can see the smoke coming off the back of the ship. It's a very slight crosswind, which is going to make this interesting for a rolling landing.
Bingo, bingo.
Yeah. So, like you do with a velocity vector, use the vertical one, the uppy downy one, to put that on the back of the deck where you want to touch down and hold it there. Use it like a velocity vector to guide you. Okay, 60 knots. And then we just put a little bit of power in at this point. And then kill the power. So a little bit of power in just before you touch down, and then kill the power. And there you go. That is a rolling 70 degree landing on the carrier. As you can see, there's plenty of deck. No problem.
Bingo, bingo.
Highly recommend learning that one for the people who can't hover. However, if you can hover, we'll do a normal one. Okay, so gear up. Nozzles going forward or back to their normal position. Flaps up into auto mode. Right, okay, so we're going to come in for a normal hover landing. So that was the 70 degree nozzles, slow approach. Like I say, if you can't hover, definitely worth learning that one, because it's very easy once you've done it a couple of times. It's very controllable. But we're going to come in for a normal approach. So we're coming back from our normal sortie, and we're in normal sort of flying config. So we're going to come in for a landing. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to slow it down, turn the water on, slow it down to 250 knots, turn the water on, You don't need the water, but just turn it on anyway, just in case you do need it. Set the flaps for landing. Okay, gear down. And this time we're just going to set the nozzles for hover and bring it in for a landing. So what you want to do is about 3/4 a mile from the back of the ship, once you're straight behind it, we're going to start rotating into the hover. Brake before or after the power down. Brakes on. Just stamp on the brakes as soon as you want, buddy. Stops really quick. Okay, about a mile behind the deck. We're just going to push the nozzles down to 83. I use 83. And exactly the same, but this time we bring ourselves alongside the ship and then put the ship at our 2.5 o'clock and then side shift over. Now I'm going to keep the nose down because I've already set the nozzles for 83. I'm going to keep the nose down low so we keep some forward momentum. However, the uppy downy one's still controlling whether I'm going up or down. I'm just keeping the nose down so I've got some forward momentum. I don't like playing with the nozzle switch. I put the nozzles where I need them and then I use the nose to control it. You could keep the nose level and use the nozzles for this, but I prefer using the engine power on my nose. So this is your more conventional Harrier style landing. So you fly yourself alongside the ship, match heading, match speed. Get yourself roughly alongside the lift and then you side shift over and plonker down. So again, we want the nose at -2.5 because that's where the wheels are level for touchdown. However, for maneuvering, I need to maneuver the nose around. So if I want to slow down, I pull the nose up just to slow down. Okay, we're alongside the carrier in the roughly the right position, match speed and heading, and then we side shift over. Make sure we use a bit of rudder here to counteract the twisting as we're side shifting over, and then we turn back into it to slow down, and then drop the power for a nice smooth landing. So that's two different ways to land the Harrier onto the Tarrower. Like I say, if you can't hover and come across like that, try the other method. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. But we've been streaming for 4 hours.